Hello and welcome to the first episode of Cherish Therapy, Unmasking the Big Circus inside the Kasbah. I'm Najla, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey as we dive into the fascinating, sometimes frustrating, and often bewildering world of HR practices in Tunisia. Let me start with a quick question. Have you ever felt like you were trapped in a circus while navigating the HR process? Well, you are not alone, and that's exactly why I am here. This podcast was born out of my own experiences as an internationally experienced professional trying to navigate the Tunisian job market. The idea came to me after facing challenges that made me wonder, why do we accept outdated, unprofessional, and often demoralizing HR practices as a norm? In this episode, I'll share my story, explore the gaps between Tunisian HR practices and international standards, and most importantly, we will start a conversation about how we can do it better.
برجولية صحة ليا وصحة للناس اللي كيفي نكسب في البلاد هذية كان بطاقة تعريفي مدام الخبزة قضية قدمت نهاية تكليفي يا ربي يعطينا هشة حتى على النقل الريفي.
So let's kick things off by addressing the elephant in the room. HR practices in Tunisia, or as I like to call it, the big circus inside the Kasbah. You know what I mean by the word Kasbah? For years, I've heard people, friends, colleagues, and even strangers share stories about job application disappearing into a black hole, interviews with zero follow-up, and hiring processes that seem more like a game of a roulette than a structured evaluation. And I've experienced this firsthand. Imagine just this. You spend hours perfecting your CV and the cover letter. You prepare yourself for the interview and you nail the interview because you have some kind of experience that make you feel that you nail or you don't the interview. But I don't know why in Tunisia they tend to make you doubt yourself about this. Anyway, or you think so. Then silence. Weeks go by, you follow up and nothing. Ghosted, no feedback, no closure, no professionalism. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's demoralizing, it's unprofessional, and it's holding us back from aligning with the global standards. To give you a better picture, let me share one of my personal stories. I applied for a role at a well-known multinational company here in Tunisia. We are not going to give the names because it's not the objective from this. After a positive interview, I was asked to submit a business plan as a part of the case study, which is normal. So I poured my heart into it and submitted it on time. I did my best to make it look as professional as it should be, and I waited and waited. Weeks later, after sending multiple follow-up, I finally received radio silence. Like I wasn't even there. Now, compare this to my experience abroad. Let me tell you this. Even if I don't get the job, I've always received constructive feedback, clear timeline, a professional approach. That's the standard we should aspire to here in Tunisia. I know I'm not alone in this. Many of you have shared similar frustration, and I want this podcast to be a platform for your stories. Because the first step to change is awareness. So, what we can do about it? I have few ideas. Here are some. So first thing first, we need to adapt to transparency. HR teams must commit to clear communication with candidates at every stage of the process. Then we embrace feedback. Constructive feedback isn't just helpful, it's a sign of respect. People invest time and effort to apply and to go through the interview process, so they deserve respect. And respect is given feedback on time and in a constructive manner. Invest in training. HR professionals should undergo continuous training to stay updated on the global best practices. Well, I'm not here to just criticize, I'm here to spark change. This podcast is my way of saying, let's raise the bar together. So, before we wrap up, I want to thank you for tuning into this first episode of Irish Therapy. If my story resonated with you, or if you've got your own HR tales to share, I would love to hear from you. Here is how you can get involved. Share your experiences in the comments or send me a DM. If you would like to be a guest on the show, reach out. This platform is for all of us. I want to talk to the people who have been through the job market in Tunisia, who've made a lot of application with no success, or even the positive feedback also. I want to hear the stories of the person who had really positive experience here. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. So let's turn the chaos into conversations and ultimately into a change. Together, we can unmask the circus and create a workplace culture we are proud of. Thank you, and see you next time in Irish Therapy.
برجولية صحة ليا وصحة للناس اللي كيفي نكسب في البلاد هذيا كان بطاقة تعريفي مدام الخبز قاد